Irish guy, and as you can see, the international break has sucked away all the football fun. As usual, once again, I have about as much to talk about as a desperate old man looking for conversation at the bus stop. Honestly, after 3 weeks of solitude, the poor guy just wants to talk about the colour of the cloud and maybe which brand of cereal helps him poo. But here, okay, fine, alright? FIFA 23 is the last of the series, right? FIFA, they have a tendency to give wacky player ratings. I mean, lads, back in FIFA 2003, Italian midfielder Matteo Breghi was given a rating of 97. Yeah. He went on to win 4 caps. Can you imagine the internet meltdown back in 2003? People would have been venting their rage on MySpace or Bebo. But anyway, I'm going to take a look at every Premier League club and find each club's one blatantly wrong player rating. But before we crack into it, this video is sponsored by OneFootball. Now, you've probably all heard about OneFootball, right? Unless you spent the last few years living in a cave with glue in your ears. But lads, go and download it. OneFootball is an app that I use as my #1 destination for football news, transfer updates, player data, and the latest matchday scores. I mean, in this ever-increasing world of football hipster know-it-alls who walk around with an arrogant air of football royalty, despite them still sharing a bed with their mum, well, lads, you can now be the most informed football fan in the world by heading to the description or scanning the QR code on screen and download OneFootball today for free. Totally for free. This is the only football app you need. Go now and get it, okay? It's incredible, alright? This is your one database for football news. Go there now. Oh, and while you're there, you might as well hit the subscribe button. Anyway, back into the video. Right, let's go. Arsenal, Alexander Zinchenko, 79. Okay, I'm not sure what Alexander Zinchenko has done. I mean, maybe one of the gaming nerds over there at EA Sports must have had a nightmare of the blonde left back throwing bricks at his car before eating his dog. Because honestly, how is Zinchenko, who last season was the Premier League champion with Man City, how was he down as a 79 rated left back? I'm sorry, clearly, whoever made that decision should be working on a different console. Maybe just stick to designing Wii Tennis or chess for the PSP. Because, what? Apparently somebody who lasted 6 years under Pep Guardiola is a worse left back than Luke Shaw. You know, that walking lump of birthday cake? Oh yeah, and Renan Lodi. You know, someone currently rotting in a relegation battle with Nottingham Forest. Oh, it gets worse. Apparently Zinchenko is a worse footballer than Alex Telles. You know, someone who, were he not rescued by Sevilla on loan, would now be third choice Manchester United left back. I mean, FIFA 23 have only marginally rated Zinchenko 2 points higher than Alberto Moreno and Matty Target. I'm sorry, whoever designed this game, maybe just go and have a private sneeze in the corner. Aston Villa, Danny Ings, 79. Listen, I like Danny Ings, but I think we can all plainly see that this man is so far past his best. We all know that next summer, Aston Villa are gonna bid him off to the championship to someone like QPR. Ozzy, this is not the same Danny Ings who nearly won the Golden Boot with Southampton. I mean, in his last 60 Premier League games, he has scored 15 goals. 15. Oh, I'm sorry, but he's no longer the guy who was once linked with the move to Man City. No, compared to the goal-scoring beast he once was, he's just like some aging cat who keeps pooing on the floor. Anyway, he's rated a 79. Now, on the face of it, when you realise that he is rated lower than Joselu, remember that former Stoke and Newcastle turnip? Well then, 79 doesn't sound so bad. But then you realise that FIFA 23 have said that he's a better player than Julian Alvarez of Man City, that he's apparently on par with the little goal machine Jonathan David, or Akadouche Milik, you know, that Polish centre forward at Juventus. But apparently Danny Ings is a better striker than Giovanni Simeone, who's scoring in the Champions League for Napoli. Although, it gets weirder because Odin Gallo is rated 78. What? A nearly 40-year-old pancake in the Saudi League? What is going on? By the way, last interruption, I promise, but somehow, this little community, we're up for 3 awards at the Football Content Awards. That is mental. I'm asking you, how have we fluked this? Lads, this amazing small community is up for a treble and against some fierce competition. Lads, for one night, I'm actually going to be out of my sweaty little box and amongst the company of other YouTubers. Honestly, I'm going to feel like Cinderella for the night, even though my feet do look a bit like they belong to Frodo Baggins. Lads, I left the previous channel, which must not be named, in March, and you all helped me by coming over and following me like a family of loyal dogs. This would be the icing on the cake. With your help, all of us could get our hands on an unprecedented treble if you could just click the second link in the description below the OneFootball stuff and slap in a vote for Irish Guy in Best in Video, Best Content Creator, and weirdly, Best Influencer. I'm sorry, what? I can't even influence my nan to shave her chin. But lads, can you imagine if we managed to pull off a miracle underdog win? If you want to vote, then honestly, you'd be the greatest person on planet Earth. Anyway, back into the video. Bournemouth Neto 81. I know he had a great game at St. James's Park at the weekend. But lads, Brazilian goalie Neto joined Bournemouth to initially play second fiddle to Mark Travers. It's just the Irishman then went and conceded 9 in one match. Listen, Neto is the former Barcelona and Juventus goalkeeper. Clearly there's talent there and he's a decent shot stopper, but 81. To put it in context, that would mean that Bournemouth currently have a goalie who's only slightly worse than England's number 1 and England's number 2. Really? Brentford, Ivan Toney 77. Okay, this isn't exactly a footballing shame. I don't actually think any of the tech nerds over there at EA Sports should be imprisoned for this one. I'm not exactly saying that Ivan Toney's family should launch a court case and maybe chuck a bag of their granddad's poo on the CEO's porch. Nah, I mean 77 is not an offensive rating for a 26-year-old centre forward who's only ever scored 17 Premier League goals in his life. But I think he deserves higher. Are you really trying to tell me that he's the same level as Burak Yilmaz, a 37-year-old gargoyle of Fortuna Sittard? Am I really supposed to buy that Tony is still not better than Mario Balotelli and Michy Batshuayi? Two strikers so far past their best, they might as well have feet made of birthday cake. EA Sports, don't you stand there and tell me that an England international striker is the same level as Alvaro Negredo, someone who's nearly signed for Hull City when Tony was 13 years of age. According to this game, Tony, you know, one of the most effective centre forwards in the Premier League, is an inferior striker to Willian Jose. I mean, most of you will forget, but yeah, he was in this division 2 years ago while unknown at Wolves. It's just, he had the impact of drinking a banana milkshake on the loo. Brighton, Robert Sanchez 77. Put some respect on Robert Sanchez's name. Yes, I realise he's a former Rochdale and Forest Green Rovers number 1. And as a result, he's probably about as fashionable as a goblin's knob. But lads, this is a man who is currently higher in the Spanish national team pecking order than David De Gea. Oh yeah, and the most expensive goalie to ever live. FIFA have given De Gea a rating of 87. 10 points more than the guy keeping him out of the Spain squad. See how this doesn't make sense? I mean, it gets worse. Sanchez is 3 points lower than Simon Mignolet, someone who 5 years ago lost his place at Liverpool to the guy currently crying on Newcastle's bench. That's Jasper Cillessen is a washed up hamburger playing for NEC Nijmegen in the dregs of the Dutch league, and he's still rated 80. Listen, being rated lower than the likes of Matt Sells is an insult to Sanchez's entire life work. The most ridiculous thing is the fact that a Premier League number 1 is deemed a worse goalkeeper than Gianluigi Buffon, someone who turns 45 in January. Lads, Buffon is a legend, yes, but he's halfway to 90 years of age. Sanchez is one of the best ball-playing goalies in the league. So don't you dare tell me that he's worse footballer than Thomas Skrakosha, Brentford's number 2. I mean, apparently he's no better than Andrew Blake, a 31-year-old Jamaican international who spent the last 8 years at Philadelphia Union. The utter disrespect. Sanchez should be 83 at least. Chelsea, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang 85. In a way, I get it. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang had a quick lightning fire fling at Barcelona in the spring. But I still don't buy it. I still don't reckon he deserves a lofty rating of 85. I reckon this guy will score about 7 goals for Chelsea this season, and yet he's 2 points higher than Gavin Jesus, someone who is going to blow him out of the water. Crystal Palace, Tyreek Mitchell 75. Okay, I'm not exactly going to bed with tears in my eyes because EA Sports have given Tyreek Mitchell a rating of 75. I'm not going to lose any sleep, but I don't know. He's a promising young left back buzzing around the England squad, and you've only given him a rating of 75, putting him on a level with Danny Rose, some chunky Watford outcast who's got the mobility of a kettle, trying to tell me that Mitchell is a worse left back than Gael Clichy, a 37-year-old playing in Switzerland. According to this game, apparently Ryan Bertrand would still start for Crystal Palace, as would Yuri Zirkov, a nearly 40-year-old free agent who failed at Chelsea nearly 20 years ago. What is this? Justice for Tyreek. Everton, Dominic Calvert-Lewin 80. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is an 18-month wonder. This guy has scored 5 Premier League goals in nearly a year and a half, and you're giving him a score of 80. You really think this Everton earwig is a better striker than even Mikel Antonio or Callum Wilson? Sure, the guy's got the self-confidence to probably go to church in a mini skirt and topping up his lipstick from his Gucci purse. But in front of goal, the injuries have made him look like a feeble grandmother reaching for the milk. He should be 75 at best. Fulham, Willian 79. Willian was once a top-class footballer at Chelsea, yes, but he's nearly halfway to 70, looked like an elderly tree stump in an Arsenal kit, and was literally chased out of the Brazilian leagues by angry Corinthian fans. I know he started well in a Fulham shirt, but let's be real, he also recorded 3 assists on his Arsenal debut at Craven Cottage. Give it 2 more weeks and we will see the true Willian, just an unfit old man who probably gets a stitch from eating chicken nuggets off the floor. Hey, Arsenal fans, you know how you're all so excited about that new attacking midfielder, Fabio Vieira? Yeah, I wouldn't bother because according to this game, not better than Willian. Lads, Willian is 79, just 2 points lower than Marcus Rashford. What? Leeds Brendan Aronson 74. Come on, 74 for new USA attacking midfield hotshot Brendan Aronson. After seeing him pick apart Chelsea last month, clearly that's way too low. Leicester Jamie Vardy 85. I'm sorry to say it, but Jamie Vardy is done. There's a man who turns 36 in about 4 months' time. He's currently sitting on the bench for a team bottom of the Premier League on one sad and lonely point. I know he had 2 identical 15-goal seasons in a row, but so far it's 0 in 7 matches this time out. Come on, EA! Are you really trying to tell me that this washed-up old man is still better than Dusan Vlahovic, Victor Osimhen, and Gabriel Jesus? Come on! Tell me that with a straight face! I'm waiting. According to this game, he's a better striker than Darwin Núñez. Yeah, I think I can hear Liverpool fans choking on their muesli. Apparently, he's the second best English striker on planet Earth after Harry Kane. In reality, he's probably about 10th. Liverpool Mo Salah 90. Look, I could whine and complain about Harvey Elliott still being stuck in the 70s when the man's clearly an 80 at least, but is Mo Salah the 6th best footballer on the planet? Listen, I don't want this to be me just picking on Salah. The truth is that EA Sports need to wake up and stop living in the past. According to them, of all the 9 players rated over 90 in this game, 8 of them are in their 30s. 4 of them are over the age of 34. That's of the 20 highest rated players in the game, 18 of them are over the age of 29. EA, stop living in the past. These are all old men. Salah is a 30-year-old forward who has scored 7 Premier League goals from open play in 2022. 7! And he gets a rating of 90. The same rating Lionel Messi had the year he won his first treble at Barcelona. Are you trying to tell me that Salah is as good as Messi was under Pep Guardiola? I don't even think that Salah is a better player than Vinicius Jr. right now. And yet, he's rated 4 points higher than him. What do you think? Because to me, 90 is way too high. Man City, Erling Haaland 88. I mean, even Erling Haaland knows himself that this rating is utter wet garbage. This is a guy with 100 goals in his last 99 matches. And yet, a meager total of 88. I mean, without sounding like a nerd who shares a bed with his mum. But can I remind you that in FIFA 2004, Ronaldo Nazario was given a rating of 98. I mean, undoubtedly world-class footballer, but 98? Wayne Rooney was given a 92 in FIFA 07 off the back of a 14-goal Premier League season. I mean, lads, he scored 4 goals less than Benny McCarthy of Blackburn, and he got a 92 when he was tied on goals with Darren Bent. I mean, Radamel Falcao was once given a rating of 90. I promise you, Haaland would eat his entire career with a spoon. Haaland should have a 91, on par with Kylian Mbappe. I mean, why isn't he? Is it because Mbappe has the face of a young Will Smith, while Haaland looks a bit like a zombie off the hills of ice? Man United, Cristiano Ronaldo 90. Cristiano Ronaldo is the 2nd best footballer in the world, so we should expect to see him standing on the Ballon d'Or podium this year, right? And yet also can't break into a Manchester United team who aren't good enough to play in the Champions League. And he's just resigned to being given starts in a competition which is just 1 European level higher than Shamrock Rovers. In reality, this guy cannot get past Marcus Rashford in the starting 11, and yet he's given a score of 90. Does anyone at all think that a nearly 38-year-old Ronaldo is a more useful footballer than Harry Kane or Erling Haaland? If you do believe that, then I suggest you stop being breastfed at 15. Clearly the milk is poisoning your brain. I hate to say it, but Ronaldo should be 84. Newcastle, Joe Linton 75. Where is the respect for Joe Linton? Yes, he was an embarrassing snow cone over centre forward under Steve Bruce, but as a midfielder under Eddie Howe, he's an absolute colossal giant. One of the most effective players in the Premier League over the last 12 months, and yet he's given a limp rating of 75. Wow, a full 5 points lower than Aaron Ramsey. Someone who this summer was just unwanted Rangers rubbish. No, nonsense. Joe Linton deserves an 80 at least. Nottingham Forest, Serge Aurier 79. Serge Aurier is a 2nd choice Nottingham Forest right back, having been recently released by 2 clubs in a row. And yes, supposedly, he's still a 79. Apparently, he's on par with Benjamin Pavard. You know, the Bayern Munich right back who's a world champion with France. Nonsense. Aurier is about a 71 at best. Southampton, Gavin, BAZUNU 69. This is a disgrace. 69! An actual rating of 69 for one of the best young goalkeepers in the country. Gavin BAZUNU is an insanely talented Irish wonder kid who is Southampton #1 goalkeeper at the age of 20. He's got 10 Ireland caps. Think about it. Do you really think any Premier League manager would dare to pick a goalkeeper who's actually rated 69? I mean, it's about as clever as installing a smoke alarm that's made of Lego. Tottenham, Ivan Perisic 84. What were EA thinking. Ivan Perisic is a journeyman Croatian wingback who isn't even assured of a starting place at Tottenham. And yet, according to this game, he's one of the best players in the world. He's been given a rating of 84. I know they're in wildly different positions, but just to be clear, that old cheap player from Inter Milan is on a par with £100 million Jack Grealish. And you know, Real Madrid superstar Federico Valverde. Apparently, he's as good as PSG's Hashim Hakimi, or most unforgivably, Chelsea's Reece James. Apparently, he's as good as Luis Diaz at Liverpool, or Bayern's Alphonso Davies. According to this game, he's on par with Jadon Sancho and Leroy Sané. I know, yeah, better than Rafinha, Anthony, and Bukayo Saka. What is this nonsense? West Ham Declan Rice 83. I'm no Declan Rice fan, but even I can see, is an 83 a bit low? Wolves Raul Jimenez 82. I think it's time to phase Raul Jimenez out of the 80s list. Yeah, a couple of years ago he was like the Mexican Dimitar Berbatov, but since banging his head, he can no longer score goals. 12 goals in his last 51 Premier League games. I mean, it's sad, but come on. It's ridiculous to say he's on a level with Darwin Núñez or Tammy Abraham. Again, stop the nonsense. Anyways, well, what do you think? Let me know, okay? Put your crazy FIFA 23 player ratings in the comments below. What do you think, right? Let me know in the comments below. Enjoy the video. Don't forget to subscribe. As always, I'll talk to you in a while.